This video is for Frankie and Charlotte. I'm going to show you how to make two kinds of lotions. One is for wearing during the day in the sun and moisturizing your face when you get up in the morning, and your arms and hands and so on when you go out in the sun. And the other one is for nighttime. I just made this yesterday. The video you're about to see is done yesterday, but I want to you to see how it sets. This has got things in it, you can see this is fully set. This has got things in it that you would not want to wear during the day, like orange oil and rosehip oil, but those things are very good for nighttime, and you'll see my ingredients in the video as you watch. I have these two containers that are kind of antique that I found at charity shops, and that's what I've been using, and I've been reusing containers and jam containers and so on. So watch the video to see how I did it. So I have my pot with water and then a glass pot, and it's slowly melting shea butter. I've attached them together with a little elastic band. I put the same amount of mango butter in to match the shea butter and just let them slowly melt. I have my heat on really low. I also add in some kokum butter. This I don't put as much. I kind of estimate. I basically broke the kokum butter in half that I got and put half in there. This is all just by estimate and just not real recipe, just what I do at the time. The kokum butter that I use, and I just broke it in half. The different oils that I use to put in there, organic oils of different kinds. Half of that little jar of organic coconut oil in there. I'm just letting it slowly melt, really slowly, lowest heat possible, just letting it all mix together and melt, and stir it with a metal spoon, silver one if you have a silver metal spoon, but yeah. I'm washing all the containers that I use. I reuse my containers. These are some that I got online, which are from, old-fashioned containers that I found, and also using jam jars. But the whole point is you've got to wash them with Dawn soap and hot water to get rid of anything that's in there so they're completely clean. You do not want any water to get into your mix, because that will make it rot, because you're making something with oil right now. No water can get in there, so be very careful not to get any water in it. So these are all the various oils that I put in depending what I'm doing. There is sea buckthorn oil, argan oil, rosehip, carrot seed, which helps with sunblock, red raspberry seed oil, also sunblock, lavender oil, milk thistle, orange. Now the orange and the rosehip, now those are not good to put in things you wear outside, remember, because those will react in the sun. And here's my frankincense, and here's ginger. So these are all really great for your skin, and various things about them are fantastic. I also have lemongrass, which I'm not going to put in anything today, because that's something which was for bug spray. Bugs don't like that, like mosquitoes and stuff. I turned off my stove a little while ago, and I'm just letting it, basically the heat of the stove is just finishing to melt what's in there. And I've stirred it, of course, as you can see, but you really want to do this gently. Don't be like bubbling and doing a witch's brew type thing. This is a gentle thing, so you don't mess up the oils. Okay, so finally you have a perfectly clear little mixture of oils. And that's the melting section. Next, you have to let this sit somewhere until it starts to solidify. I usually put it in the fridge, but keep an eye on it, because you don't want it to go totally solid. You want it to go just solid enough that you can start mixing it with your mixer. I have the oil basically cooling down, and I have all the containers that I'm going to use that I've collected. The lids and the containers I wash with Dawn hot water and rinse with hot water, so they're totally clean. And they're now drying. You need to make sure they're totally dry, because again, no water. You don't want any water in your mixture because that's what causes it to go bad and rot. Tiny place, so I have no drying rack. So this is my drying rack, my stove, double hatted, you call it, or having double functions. Okay, so I've had this sitting where it can get colder so that it can start setting. And you see how it's changing color? That means that it's ready for you to start beating it or whipping it with your, your handheld or your other kind of beater. This is what I'm going to use. Okay, so I'll show you my setup here. I've got covering on so that when this turns on, it's not going to spray everywhere. And you can see the colors changed. Now I've put in this mixture so far, the different additives that I want to put in there. By that I mean different oils and potions, like these things we've talked about earlier. I have not put in these ones. These are all the ones that I'm going to put in after, because these are the ones that need to be you cannot wear when you go outside. So I'm going to make two separate ones, one for nighttime and one for daytime. And this is the arrowroot that I'm going to put in shortly. The scoop that I'm going to use to put this in, and that's about how much I do. So I've put the powder in. The arrowroot comes in like a bag, but I keep it in that container that you saw. I recycle the containers of different things because, well, the bag's much harder to operate. So you're going to beat it for a while now because you want to make sure you're going to beat it for a while now to get it fluffy. Plastic is needed because it really sprays out and you don't want that oil all over your kitchen. Once you have little peaks forming, you stop beating, because now you need to actually put the put your solution or your stuff into little containers before it gets too hard. So you take it to this point. Now also I have to mix all this stuff in for my second batch. So I don't want it to have it, I'm actually stopping before it gets as hard as I usually do it, because I've got to be able to also mix once I've done this. So first I'm going to take out what I need for my first batch, which is stuff that is okay to wear outside because it doesn't have the ginger and the sea and all that stuff in it. So I use the spoon to dollop it in there and then banged it to get it level. And make sure everything's dry. Your container and your lid, they all need to be dry. Scoop this in here and then you just bang it and it levels it up. Once it sets, it's going to be hard like this. At the end, two different lotions made from the same base, and you can see the difference in color because of what I put in them, and that's natural coloring. There's nothing unnatural that's been put in these creams or lotions.